So there it is.
Dreamfall.
My story. It sounds pretty unbelievable, I know. Parts of it still feel like a dream to me. But it did happen. All of it. I helped send Faith on her way. The static is gone. Things are back to normal. All should be well with the world. Except it's not. At all. The bad guys got away with it. The dreamer could still be released. If that happens... I'm not sure how long I've been here, or how long I'm going to stay. But there's nothing more I can do now. My story's been told. The future is out of my hands. And in yours. You need to do something. You need to tell my story until the word is out. Until everyone knows what's going on. If you don't... I'm leaving soon, but I'm not afraid. If death is the end, I know that our dreams remain behind.
What a threat.
So whoever you are, whatever you plan to do, good luck. I'm sure you'll need it. I hope my story has been heard. I'll feel really stupid if I find out I've been talking to myself this whole...
Reza. Thank God.
How is she?
She's fading away.
Careful, Dad. That is not him. Goodbye.
Welcome to the story time, Zoe.
Hello. Am I dead?
I don't know. It doesn't matter here. This is where everything is. Here, you simply are. Alive or dead, you just are. Understand?
No, not really.
No, but please go on.
You're special, Zoe.
I am?
You are. You are a dreamer.
Someone else told me that. Is that good?
It is, and it isn't. There's nothing good or bad about it. Like the stars above and the stones below. It simply is.
Oh. So, where are we again?
In the story time. This is where the stories are told. The stories that create the sky and the ground and all that is in between. You see, Zoe, this universe and everything in it is like an endlessly thick book containing countless stories.
That's amazing. Can you tell me one of those stories?
I could, but not now. There's no time. We need to act before it's too late.
Okay.
You're here to tell me a story, Zoe.
I am.
You are.
What?
I see. What's happening? Why do we have to act?
Because the undreaming is unchained.
I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound good. So where do I begin?
At the beginning, Zoe.
At the beginning? It's going to be a long story.
That's fine.
Okay. My name is Zoe Castillo, and I think I might be dead, but I'm not sure. My father's name is Gabriel.
Isn't that the opening to the game, isn't it? I think. I thought we were actually going to do some gameplay. It's a weird time to do gameplay. Then again, it is some gameplay. 3 months
And
later.
finally, today's the day everyone's been waiting for. Isn't that right, Ryan?
That's right, Diane. It's been a closely guarded secret for months, but today, Waticore finally unveils its hotly anticipated new product, Dreamtime. Fans have been lining up in front of stores for weeks in preparation for what some are calling the single greatest event in recorded history.
Wow. If you didn't have to be here this morning, Ryan, I'm sure you'd be out there lining up with the rest of them.
You betcha, Diane. Waticore has yet to reveal what Dreamtime is all about, except that it's destined to change the face of entertainment forever.
Wire rumors have it that Dreamtime will allow people to dream lucid dreams about anything they want. Isn't that something, Ryan?
Modern technology. Oh, you gotta love it. You just gotta love it, Diane.
That looks bad. I'm sorry, you what? I'm sorry, First of all, the last game was setting up to introduce the story of how the worlds merged. That was what they were talking about at the end of the last game. And first of all, we didn't get that. Secondly, everything we're working for as Zoe Castillo is to stop the Dreamtime, and we fail miserably. And thirdly, what on earth is that going on in Arcadia? That came out of I don't know what that is. I don't know where that comes from. You've not explained things because sequel. I think the sequel came out many years later. It's currently out. I think I have it. I won't be playing it straight after this because oh my goodness. And the thing is, I know some people have said, "Oh, Dragon Age 2, it's worse than Dragon Age Origins," so people don't like it as much. So people think it's a terrible game because it's not as good. And they're right. Dragon Age 2 is not as good. It's still a good game, but it's not as good as Dragon Age Origins. And I can see that. Mass Effect 3 is not as good as Mass Effect 2, but it's still a good game. Ending ignored. But, oh my goodness! There were times when I was playing it where I was veering towards sleep. Because I'm just gonna complain. It's the credits. This is what I feel really bad because there were some parts which were quite interesting. I liked the lockpicking minigame. I kind of liked the hacking minigame. I liked some of the characters coming back, like Roper Clax. I liked that coming back. I liked it when in that conversation between Kian Alvani and April Ryan, where you're kind of controlling how both of them act in the conversation. I thought that was quite good. The kind of once each you did it, I would have liked that to have been like a full conversation and kind of going backwards and forwards with it. You kind of role-playing the characters a bit there. But, I mean, Zoe's story isn't really wrapped up because what she was fighting against wasn't finished, wasn't stopped. Reza isn't real. That's not the real Reza. She's trapped in the doll's house, kind of thing. April's story wasn't wrapped up because she's not really resolved where she was, and Kian's arrested. I mean, this is... It's building up to a sequel that they didn't get, that they had to kickstart. I can see people really annoyed with this, but there were times... Okay, go back to complaining. I can't even remember what I was complaining about. I was probably complaining about... Oh, Wonkers! reminded me, because I don't know why I thought of Crow, but Wonka's was brilliant. I liked him, but the issue, or to me, one of the big issues with it was very minimal puzzles. It was very, even if you include combat and stealth, there was quite a lot kind of from in the last half of this. In the last half of this game, inverted commas game, there seemed to be very little actual gameplay, and there was a lot of time of just, I am walking to this place and doing this interaction, and I'm walking to this place, and then there is some dialogue going on. And it might be a bit of dialogue that I have no say on whatsoever. And then I'll walk to another bit, and there'll be another bit of dialogue. And then I'll walk to another bit, and there'll be another bit of dialogue. And it's just... I think that's what I was saying, is... I can see a lot of people saying this is a sequel to a great game. Longest Journey was absolutely amazing, and I would have loved to have seen essentially the Longest Journey. I loved the idea of the world in Longest Journey, of Stark and Arcadia and that kind of them coming together. That was quite an interesting idea that I think could have been a really fun game. I don't know if it's in Dreamfall Chapters or Dreamfall Stories or whatever the next one's called. I think it's Dreamfall Stories, or is it Chapters? It's episode based, so it might be that it's Dreamfall Stories Chapter 1, Chapter 2, whatever. But there were times when that didn't really come out, and you never had the depths of the puzzles in The Longest Journey. And I mean, I'm just trying to think of some of the puzzles that come to mind from Longest Journey. Obviously, there's the kind of speaker system one that came out. There was the one where you used Constable Guybrush. Second best sidekick of the game, obviously behind Crow, clearly. Using him to scare off the guard to get into the theatre to see Cortez. I want to think of more, but I can't think of any more off the top of my head. That's kind of bad. Actually, I'm making the point of... But, I mean, comparatively, if I think of the puzzles in this game... Build on location in Stark and Arcadia. If I think of other ones that kind of work along with that, like puzzles in this game, you've got taking Wonka's brain out and putting it into Lucia. And it's like, if you compare those puzzles, it doesn't have that kind of umph to it. It doesn't have that same kind of... The puzzles in this game were not as good. They weren't as well thought out. There were several times when... Like, the one that I remember, because it bugged me, was you had to meet Minstrom Martha, I think it was. But, so, you hear, oh, I really like her soup. So you think, aha, she's the soup lady. You go to the soup lady, you can't ask her anything, and then you move on. And then you, hello? And then you have to go to Crazy Clara, who tells you who it is. It's like, well, you know who it is. Right, so this is Tibet 1933, so I assume this is Mr. Westhouse. It looks like him. Hello? Who are you?
Hello, old friend. Chavez? What are you doing here?
Time is a circle.
So that's
Take my hand, Brian. The future awaits.
that's Cortez, isn't it? That's who it was. Oh my goodness, your wrist should not bend like that. Speaking of dragons, because Cortez is one of the Drakekin. Wasn't the white Drakekin? She was killed. Like, where did that go? Where did that come from? And I think that's the problem with this. Some of the problems with this game, story-wise, is that they're trying to set up hooks for a sequel that didn't come for a long time. I think that's the issue, is rather than tell a self-contained story and then sell that, and then if it goes well, we can make another one. They decided, oh, we're gonna just prepare for a story and then move on. We're gonna set up a sequel and then hope we get it, and they didn't. So I'm feeling tired now because I've had to put up with this game and the dialogue and the never-ending talking sections. I was worried. So admittedly, there were parts of The Longest Journey that I was worried about. Like, I think there's some episodes of that Let's Play that are just bits of dialogue. But the reason that dialogue is so long is because you're asking questions about the world. You're asking questions about puzzles, about what are we doing next. And this game just really didn't have that. It didn't have the same kind of... It didn't have as good lore. It didn't have as good a world. Even though it's the same world, it feels that it's not as well written. Hello. The combat was... I don't think was particularly necessary. So the combat didn't feel particularly necessary. The stealth section, I don't really think either of those added anything to the gameplay in contrast to the puzzles from Longest Journey. The frustrating part of Longest Journey was some of those longer bits of dialogue, the occasional more kind of real-time parts of it that are a bit weird. What was great about it? The characters, the world, and the puzzles. What did they take out? They tweaked some of the characters quite a bit. They kind of weakened the world. They changed it in some ways an interesting way, but and this might be, I don't know if this got it. I did actually. And they changed the characters. I mean, that was my big gripe with April, was they really kind of changed the character in a strange way. And what did they expand on? We see there the combat. They expanded on those kind of real-time aspects, like the stealth, like the combat, which there were a few little bits of those in the original game. And they weren't as good. And the second thing that wasn't as good that I can't for the life of me remember, the really talky bits, they really they took away the choice and the interaction from the talking bits, so that the talking bits just became a fixed, this is what you're saying, this is what you're asking, this is how you're responding kind of thing, instead of making the game more interactive. Because maybe you're talking less in this game, I don't know, but because you're doing less interaction, it feels like the talking is happening more, and it takes control away from the player, and that's not a good thing to do. This felt like it was a bad game, and I think it's probably a mediocre game on its own. But then it feels worse. It feels like a bad game because I'm comparing it to The Longest Journey, which was far superior. And you just can't help it, especially with the fact you've got the name, The Longest Journey, and the fact that it's set in the same world, which I don't want to say it's sad, because I don't think this is a good game anyway. It's that babysitting of dialogue. I think I said that in this session. Is your I feel like I'm babysitting the dialogue. I'm babysitting conversation to conversation. Like, you could just play this as a cutscene. You could play it as a film. We've already seen that. This could be written as a film, and you wouldn't lose that much. And you wouldn't lose that much, and I think it'd probably be a lot more enjoyable. So, wow, a negative little credits ramble. I'm a little surprised, actually, that I've been negative in a credits thing. I don't think I've really been super negative in one before. Then again, if you've been watching this Let's Play, you're probably not surprised. So, hopefully I will see you in my next Let's Play. It'll probably be a puzzle game. It might be another one of the Broken Swords, I don't know. It probably will not be the sequel. This has stung me, and I don't want to play that just in case. But yes, so I hope you'll join me next time. And hopefully you've managed to get through my rambling criticisms. Hopefully. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.